Humanitarian crisis unfolds. Israel is taking drastic measures that are significantly impacting international aid organizations operating in Gaza and the West Bank, potentially exacerbating the already dire humanitarian situation. This is a complex issue, so let's break it down. Reports indicate that Israel is actively working to deregister major non-governmental organizations, NGOs, for what are being described as ideological reasons. This move threatens the ability of these vital organizations to deliver aid and deploy staff to both Gaza and the Israeli-occupied West Bank. One aid organization official, speaking anonymously, revealed that many NGOs are in a state of limbo, with applications for re-registration either rejected or left in a state of uncertainty. The context: aid restrictions and the Gaza war. The backdrop to these actions is the ongoing conflict in Gaza. A ceasefire agreement, brokered by President Trump, was supposed to facilitate a surge in aid to Gaza, where food security experts have declared famine in certain areas. However, Israel continues to impose severe restrictions on aid shipments and the organizations that can deliver them. Only a limited number of border crossings are open, and even then, aid groups report frequent rejections of their requests to enter Gaza, often without explanation. The Israeli military has cited security concerns as the reason for these restrictions, though without providing concrete evidence. New regulations and criteria. Israel has implemented new registration criteria for international aid groups, including approval by a committee that includes representatives from the Ministry for Diaspora Affairs and combating anti-Semitism. But here's where it gets controversial. Reasons for delisting aid groups. According to Kogat, the Israeli military's arm involved in the approval process includes supporting terrorist groups and activities and inciting racism. Aid organizations suggest that these criteria are being used to target comments the Israeli government deems anti-Semitic. Israel has previously accused some aid groups and medical providers of ties to terrorism. Adding to the challenges, Israel has demanded detailed personnel information for all local and international staff, a measure that most major aid groups have rejected, citing potential safety risks for their employees. The Norwegian Refugee Council, a long-standing aid provider in Gaza, is among the organizations facing difficulties in sending supplies and staff while its application is under review. We quickly realized that the intent behind the process wasn't to facilitate the re-registration of humanitarian NGOs, but rather to find a way to re-register us and to remove our ability to operate, says Ivan Karakashian, communications manager for the NRC in Jerusalem. The implications: deregistered organizations face a 60-day deadline to cease operations in both Gaza and the West Bank. Meanwhile, many aid groups have had hundreds of trucks loaded with supplies waiting for months at the borders of Egypt and Jordan, desperately needed in Gaza. And this is the part most people miss. Humanitarian officials have noted that Israel has approved a number of NGOs that do not operate within traditional UN-led structures, some of which may lack experience in humanitarian aid or are driven by specific ideologies. The UNRWA ban. Adding another layer of complexity, Israel continues to ban UNRWA, the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, from sending aid or staff into Gaza. Israel has accused UNRWA, without providing evidence, of employing Hamas members. UNRWA was the largest humanitarian organization in Gaza, providing essential services like shelters, medical clinics, and schools. The warehouses in Jordan and Egypt are full of food that can feed the entire population of Gaza for 3 months, and we need to bring that in, says Tamara Al-Rafai, UNRWA's Director of External Relations. The humanitarian toll. The situation is made even more critical by the extensive damage to homes and civilian infrastructure in Gaza due to Israeli airstrikes. The United States, previously UNRWA's largest donor, halted its funding last year, leading to a significant loss of income for the agency. While other countries have increased their contributions, The funding gap remains. UNRWA is attempting to re-establish discussions with the U.S. to renew funding. Controversy comment hooks. This situation raises several critical questions. Is the deregistration process truly about security, or are there other motivations at play? What impact will these restrictions have on the already vulnerable population in Gaza? Do you believe the restrictions on aid are justified, or do they worsen the humanitarian crisis? Share your thoughts in the comments below.